It's been 3 years since the Bergerians left their mark of devastation upon Earth. The remaining humans are in a desperate race against time as they do their best to reverse engineer the alien technology they captured in an effort to bolster their beleaguered defenses against the oncoming onslaught of Bergerian hell bent on revenge. Revenge against the human that thwarted, there's that word again, thwarted their takeover, and revenge against the subordinate Xenogerians that helped. Michael Talbot once again finds himself at the forefront to protect all that is sacred to him. He will receive some help from some unexpected allies, but will it be enough? Find out in Indian Hill Book 4, From the Ashes. This is the Chronicles of Michael Talbot, the podcast, the reboot.
Well, hello. There we are. Hey, how are you, everybody? It is Wednesday. It is 7 p.m. That must mean it is time for the Chronicles of Michael Talbot, the reboot. I am one of your hosts, Jeff Royds. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Jason Leelighter.
Good evening.
And Mr. Christopher Simpson.
Is it just me? I keep losing Jeff's audio.
Again?
No,
Can you hear it okay, Jason?
Yeah, it was the intro. I kept on losing the intro.
Was it? That happened last week.
I can't hear him now.
All right, we're trying new shit. I don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah. So this is what technology is, kids. Okay, I got my mic cranked. Can you hear me, Jason?
Yeah, I can hear you.
People in the chat watching, can you hear me?
It's an incredibly soft whisper that I'm getting from him.
Oh. Aaron says it was lagging on the intro.
And I can't read lips. I never picked up that skill.
Well, maybe you should next time. So I got solid Wi-Fi, solid connection. We might have to try a slower intro next time. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? We're trying to look official, like we actually know what we're doing when we don't.
Not even remotely close.
And I've been doing this for 20 years podcasting, close to. So maybe one of these days I'll get it. But
no clue what you're
doing. It's so funny.
Chris, can you hear him at all?
No.
Not at all?
You're coming through just fine.
Okay.
I got nothing from him.
Can you hear me in the chat? Who's Erin Leelighter? Is that your wife, daughter?
Yeah.
All right. She's out there. Erin, can you hear me? Erin, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
I don't know.
Is there
Maybe I'm the only person who
out
can hear you.
there? Let's see how this goes. This could be a disaster. I got one thumbs up. I don't know what this. All right, she said she can hear me.
Oh.
Maybe it's just you, Chris.
Hey, I'm special.
Hey.
I already knew that.
So you can't hear me at all, Chris. Is that correct?
Apparently.
That is correct. Oh, this is going to be welcome to the train wreck episode of the Chronicles of Michael Talbot, the podcast. We're gonna hunker in and see how we can do this and make this the best that we can. But we are here to discuss book 4 of the Indian Hill series. Now, in typical Tufo fashion, Mark kind of, I don't know if he wrote this as a trilogy originally, but his books kind of go in threes, where, Chris, what are you doing with your hands? He can't hear me.
Chris, he wants to know what you're doing with your hands.
I was messing with my settings, trying to see if it was something that I could do or modify. That way I could hear him.
I got you.
Nothing.
Why don't you try dropping Chris out and then bringing him back in?
Yeah, I'm gonna boot you out, Chris, and see what happens. Bear with us, people. This is the joys of live entertainment. Nothing?
No, still nothing.
Right.
Let me try exiting, and then let me try coming back in, see if that works.
All right, do that. And while you do that, I'm going to thank all of you good people for watching this tonight. If you are not watching this and you are listening to it on the rebroadcast, join us. We do this every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on Facebook. If you have input on anything that you want to talk about with the books and stuff like that, we're doing this week.
Hey,
feel free. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
Opa!
This internet thing is really, once it gets going, it's really going to take off, man. Stick with it. Any day now, it's just gonna go. But yeah, if there's anything you want to talk about with the Indian Hill series or any other books that we start doing, definitely join us in the live stream because it's a lot of fun. People come in here, you know, you never know what's going to happen, and it's good. We started, I'm not sure if people can see this, but we are going to try out t-shirts. I listen to a lot of podcasts during the week when I'm on the road, and a lot of these people are charging money. They got a Patreon and everything, and I don't want to do that. I'm a purist. I've been podcasting since 2007 when it was free, and people were like, what radio station can I hear your show on? It's like, it's not, it's on the internet. Now podcasting is huge and they're monetizing it and people are making money off of it. And I don't want to do that. That's not why I got into this. I want to do this to have fun and talk to other people that like Mark's books. And I don't think you should have to pay for it. And I don't want to slap it with a bunch of sponsors and stuff, but unfortunately, podcasting does cost money, bandwidth, hosts, and all that crap. So we're going to start trying out t-shirts there. Yeah. Chris is expensive to get on here. Official Chronicles of Michael Talbot t-shirts. I designed them. I make them at my house, and you know, we're going to see how it goes. They'll be available probably in the next couple of weeks. But if you haven't, if you don't like the, I got a new thing I'm going to do right here. Hang on. The Chronicles of Michael Talbot, the podcast Facebook page. Head on over there and like and subscribe. Look, we got graphics. This is high tech, people. All right. Head on over there and like it. Apple is now doing video podcasts. So you can watch this on video on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Or if you just like the audio, you can check us out on Audible. Audible does podcasts too, and we're really popular on Audible because like more of Mark's people are on Audible, so that's where they listen to it. But you're not here to listen to me babble. You're here to talk about Indian Hill Book 4. So here we go. From the ashes. This is the continuation of a brutal interstellar war that has come to Earth. Humanity has survived the initial invasion, but the aftermath is messy, dangerous, and deeply personal. Old allies are fracturing. New threats are emerging, and the fate of the planet now rests on a handful of flawed, exhausted people who are barely holding everything together. You don't get any better than that intro, people. That's right there. You know, that is quality writing from ChatGPT when I feed my notes in there and say, give me an hour-long presentation on this shit and take out all my spelling errors. So this takes place 3 years after Conquest. Was it Conquest? Chris, we look to you for answers. You're the one with the good memory. Me and Jason are old. You're young. You got that fresh memory in your head.
I know what takes place in the book. I don't know titles. I don't know names. Like that's the whole the Dennis, Denise, like debacle. Like you asked me what's going
Dennis,
on in the book. You go after that, I know. But
all right. I got you.
Anybody in the chat, let us know.
Yeah, it was Conquest.
Book 3.
I think
That's all we need.
Yeah, and while we're talking, if you people are watching this live, feel free to chime in. I check the conversation over here in the comments, and we'll answer them as we go. And if it's a good question, we'll put it up on the screen, and we'll see how that goes. But all right, so taking place 3 years later since the first book, a fragile peace. The war is technically over. We know a war that's going on that they say is over, but it's technically not. Mike is now a lieutenant colonel in the United Earth Marine Corps. The massive Julipian spacecraft has been renamed the Guardian because we're Americans and we rename shit when we capture it, and now serves as humanity's greatest asset in orbit. Reverse engineering the Progerian fighters fill its hangars, flown by human pilots because the Progerians were really big and they really couldn't do it. So we went up there with the crack squad of people and said, let's make this better for us tiny humans to do. And they have finally cracked the alien control. Part of one thing I heard today, and I got this on probably the 5th listen through now, is how they got the spacecrafts to work was there's a gel or a secretion on the Progerians' hands or the Genos' hands, and that's how they touch it on the controllers. Yeah, and that's how they got it.
Blood.
Is it a marker in the blood?
Yeah,
and that's how they got the spaceship to work. So Mike's like, well, let's just chop their hands off, and
they have to be alive.
But they have to be alive.
Yeah.
Exactly. So interesting on how that works. Down on the surface, the situation is chaotic. Genogerians that defected in the last book have now been relocated to a reservation in Hyder, Arizona. And we all know how well things go when Americans take other people and put them on reservations. Just saying. However, they now outnumber the numbers in humans in large parts of the state. Scattered free Geno settlements exist across the planet, but most behave like unsupervised children. Now, the Genos, they're used to being told what to do. They were slaves for the Progerians, and now they're not. And they're like, what the hell do we do with all this freedom? It's like, when my wife goes out of town, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't bathe. I don't shower. I don't know what to watch. I just kind of sit there and stare at the wall because we need to be supervised. And the Genos have been supervised and been slaves for so long, they don't know what to do with their freedom. Where it's, if you're a Harry Potter fan and you're, that the house elves don't know what to do with their freedom. And Dobby is doing all kinds of crazy crap and the other house elves are, picking on it, but that's a whole different series altogether. But what I'm saying is sometimes freedom is not all it's cracked up to be. Okay? Just saying that. The Progerians that defected have a settlement in Florida. Why? Because Mark hates Florida, and if he can stick a bunch of giant alligators down in Florida, why not? They're quietly waiting for reinforcements. Paul, the hard-nosed leader, Paul Jensen, Mike's best friend, wants to wipe them out immediately. Can't stand them and just say, screw it, let's get rid of them. But Mike is a reluctant hero, urges against genocide, and wants to find another way. Mike's part of that. Let's all get along. Let's let everybody coexist. Do you think you guys could coexist with Genogerians and Progerians on the same planet?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Not after they wiped out so many of our kind.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's a hard sell, I think, for humans.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be able to do that. I don't like that he put him in Florida. I love Florida, and I want to move there someday and, live happily ever after.
I was fine sending them to the Middle East.
Would have been probably a better place for it. But would the Middle East use them to their advantage?
I like the whole thing where he talks about them trying to train the alligators
to replace the Genos.
Yeah. Interesting to see. Paul and Beth are now married, which is interesting. If you remember at the end of the last book, Beth goes in. Beth is one of those, if I can't have Mike, I'm going to use his best friend and I'm going to make him my person because Beth is very manipulative. She's very deceptive. And she wants to use Paul to stay close to Mike because Mike and Tracy are married. And now Mike and Tracy have a little baby. They have a little baby, Travis, that one day will be lifting up cars and, God amounts of weight over his head. If you don't follow Travis Tufo, his stories on Facebook, I highly suggest you do it. The shit this guy does is unreal. I look at it every day and I go, I have wasted my life. I feel scrawny and puny when I bend over to lift up a piece of paper and I pull my back out at 52. Okay.
I like watching his videos while I eat a donut. Like that just
I asked Mark the other day, I'm like, is Travis human anymore? He's like, I don't know, but he scares me sometimes. Have you seen the giant sword that he chops wood with?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's some Conan the Barbarian level shit, there, kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get winded after a few swings with an axe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Paul is a little bit jealous because he knows that Beth still loves Mike, but in this still
she doesn't hide it either. Like
No.
at their wedding, she insisted on a private dance with with Mike, and Mike's like, I don't want to be here. And then he looks over, and Paul and Tracy are both shooting him death glares, and he's like, I don't want to do this.
They're watching.
Yeah.
They're watching.
Yeah.
She's saying, "Oh, this should be our wedding."
What? Yeah.
Crazy to the. Now, I will say, book 4 did answer a question I proposed on the last show, which was what happened to the kids at the culvert. She does save them.
Yeah.
Although Mike does admit that they had
back for them,
they had a pretty impressive setup and they were doing fine on their own, but hey, she rescued some kids.
Yeah, that's with a brief little thing. Max is now in charge since Johnny's death, and Beth left Johnny in the station wagon. We all know how that ended. Didn't end too well for little Johnny. An attempt to build some goodwill, or at least blow off steam, the Genos have invented a terrifying new alcoholic drink called... Now, does anybody have the actual book and know the actual spelling of this? Because we all love Sean, but he has been known to mispronounce some things. He says Drababen, or what's he say? Draben? Drababen. And it's Drababan. The drink is called, I have it written down as Crackass, which I think is probably a better thing, but he has it as Crackus. He pronounced it.
Crocus.
I don't know if it's a K or a C. Anybody that's actually reading the book, let us know. But
it takes on a whole new meaning if they're drinking crack ass.
But you never. This is Mark, so we could have wrote crack ass.
It's Gino, so would you really be surprised?
No, it's a brutal mix of tequila and an alien ingredient that can drop a grown man in seconds. And of course, Mike knows this because why? He tried it. They also got back on this one where Mike, we forget that these journals that Mike is writing, from Mike's point of view in this story, he's writing these to Travis. You've kind of forgot about that in the second and third one, but in the fourth one, he talks about the journal that he's writing for Travis.
Well, isn't Indian Hill the only series that he's actually writing it for somebody? Because in Zombie Fallout Net, he's only writing them for himself.
Yeah, I think he just got used to writing in the first person, but he leaves the journals all over the place. So it would be interesting. I thought about doing this, and it would be a lot of freaking work to do, but like the next go around on the series that we do to keep the podcast going, do them as we found these journals somewhere out there in the apocalypse, but that would be a lot of work. So
yeah,
exactly. There are two truck drivers, Lenny and Tom, that are making a routine supply run to Geno City, but the Bajarians pay them a little extra to deliver a mysterious extra cargo and abandon the truck in the middle of Geno territory without checking the contents. They say it's about the size of a small Volkswagen. So there are supply trucks going in and out because, I mean, what are the Genos going to hunt or eat in the middle of Arizona? Pretty much everything's gone or
the
dead.
I thought it was.
Was it humans?
No, it was the other ones. I thought it was the Strivers.
The Strivers pay truck drivers. No, Strivers haven't made their appearance yet.
Well, they do in this book.
We've heard about them, but they haven't made an appearance yet. Wink, wink. But I don't know. Somebody pays the Geno driver, the guys, to drop something off.
One gold bar. One gold bar.
That's not a lot of money.
Yeah, they also say that they paid it with the most common element in the entire galaxy, which is something we are highly sought after. Gold
is international or intergalactic?
Intergalactic.
Intergalactic, yes.
On most planets, it's one of the most commonly found metals.
Really?
Yep.
Like real planets, or are you just saying this from the book?
From the book.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, they make the comment. So,
okay. There is a big photo op going up on the Guardian, and Mike is ordered to be on board. You got heads of state, reporters, and military leadership, including Paul, are all going up together to show the world that humanity is safe and in control. We all know how well that goes when they try to do that. Tracy stays behind with Travis, and D says, D goes up with Mike. Tracy has a bad dream and tells Mike not to go. Mike says, I must go because it is my mission and my duty in life to do what Paul wants. But Mike thinks it's a bad idea too. It's a bad idea to put all those people in one place.
Yeah.
Well,
Paul's
he
kind
even
of
says that about the transports.
Yeah, Paul's playing a dangerous game. He's kind of got a little bit of a. This is where you kind of see Paul's ego kind of getting away from him, trying to be the leader. Because Paul right now is the leader of Earth, pretty much. And Mike is his second in command. But Paul is trying to put up that I'm strong, I'm powerful. I know everybody loves Mike more than me, but I'm his boss and we're going to do this and this is going to be great. And even Mike tells him, hey, this putting all of us in one place, this is all the eggs in one basket. This is a good idea. And he's like, don't worry about it. Just smile and look pretty for the cameras. So there you go. As the dignitaries gather on the Guardian, Tracy has a terrible nightmare. I already said that Mike himself feels the weight. If something is going to happen with all the world's leaders in one place, Earth could descend into immediate chaos. Paul dismisses this concern. Mike steps back onto the ship with slight PTSD. That's right. I forgot about that. This is the ship that Mike was captive on and Mike fought in the battles on and all of that shit.
Multiple battles. Oh,
this is his second. Is this third time going back up there?
Yep.
This is third. No, he got pulled up the first time for the battle, and then he went back down to Earth, and then he went back up to give himself up to fight Durgan because to save Paris, and then he went back up with Tantor to try to get them. So this is his fourth time going up to the ship.
Well, plus all the other times that Paul no doubtedly drug him up there for XYZ reason.
Very true.
Throwing his weight around.
Of course he has. But as the tour begins, they got reporters and everything. There is an alarm that goes off and says that imminent displacement, meaning a ship is coming in out of the buckle. It is a destroyer, and it is going to do what it does and destroy.
Cruiser.
Is it a cruiser ship?
It's a cruiser.
Cruiser
first.
Cruiser first, and then the destroyer. You cruise, and then you destroy.
Yep.
Which makes sense. So they have it down to a T. ICER 1 is still up there and is running the Guardian, helping everybody. And knows it's like 70 minutes and 38 seconds and whatever the hell it is. But they know the exact time because it's a wave that comes through, and they can tell that it is... It's kind of gives off waves. I'm struggling here, people. I apologize.
It's science and technology. Everybody's going to struggle.
Yeah, I'm not that good at it. But the dumbass reporters are like, oh, is this part of the thing? They're like, no, this is real. Anybody that is not part of the military needs to get the hell out of here. And yeah, a cruiser ship comes in and bonds itself with the Guardian. I was almost at Jalipium. All right, go ahead.
So it doesn't bond itself. They're like as soon it after the 77 minutes or whenever it's about to count down, the Guardian launches everything they have. That way, right when they show up, they can get slammed and hit, and it's pretty much ineffective because it's a cruiser manned by Progerians, and they know what the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're fighting back and forth, and that's when the cruiser launches breacher pods.
That's right, breacher pod. That's what it is.
Yep. Kind of like Halo. They tack onto the ship, they drill through it, and they release troops inside. 100 Devastator troops per pod.
That's a lot of troops. And
that's a massive amount of pods.
And it's not... Good.
Paul, in his infinite wisdom, has most of his soldiers back on Earth. Not on the Guardian, where they're needed, back on Earth. So.
Do you need all those fighters, though, when you have Michael Talbot and his trusty companion, Drababan?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Yes.
Somebody's got to take the hit for Mike. Everybody's got a role in life. Some people's role is to catch the bullet.
Very true. So, on the Guardian, tensions peak with 10 seconds left. So Icer One says, "All right, here's what we got to do." Icer One is a Bajarian. For those of you following along at home, says the best thing to do is to hit them before they come out of the buckle, the whatever's coming in, which is
The warp
basically like a
speed.
kamikaze run. Yeah.
Nope.
No,
Nope. You're getting ahead of yourself.
never mind.
Nope.
Go ahead.
They launched the missiles. When the breacher ships or breachers start coming in, they're like, all right, let's shoot them down before they get here. And that's where D's like, hey, D and Mike are like, hey, let one through. That way they don't just go all out and destroy us. And then D and Mike, of course, the one gets through and they go out and they fight all the Devastators and they work through and with reporters and what little soldiers they have on there, and they end up commandeering. D convinces the Genos that were left on the breacher, as well as Mike, to take over the breacher, and they end up flying it back to the cruiser. Once there, massive battle starts, as it does, and they start the process of taking over the cruiser. And it's a bloody, monstrous battle. They end up making their way through intense fighting to the central hub for the ship, not the bridge, but where all the directions and everything come through there. Once they get to that, he meets, what is it? He meets they lose Tantor, I believe, in that fight.
R.I.P. Tantor.
But Mike ends up making friends with somebody he names Church and Styrex, which he later finds out is a female
woman.
Geno.
Yeah, a female Geno.
And when they end up taking over the control room, Mike shoots the weapons. He shoots the control console, and D's like, and then he asks D. He makes the comment, "Which one's the propulsion?" And D, not even thinking, points to it, and then Mike destroys that, and he's like, "No, it controls everything, including life support."
Dumbass.
In true Mike fashion.
True Mike fashion.
Yep.
Devastator troops try making an entry point. They end up cutting through part of the door to gain access to the control room. Mike ends up fighting them off. Paul is able to negotiate a temporary ceasefire
We all
with
know
the
how well those
Bajarians
go.
in charge of the cruiser. And before the Devastators pull out, Mike goes for his pound of flesh, and he utterly annihilates whatever Devastators didn't pull back from that doorway in time. Enough to gross out and disparage all the Genos that were fighting with them in that small control room. Like, they would take turns looking out there and get just utter look of shock on their face. And then staring at Mike and looking at the door and staring back. So the Bajarians on the cruiser, they're like, all right, well, we don't want to do this. We're going to take away your fighting force. So they start targeting the civilian Genos. And D's like, hey, you got to go save my people. And Mike's like, I don't want to go out there because all there is a small hole barely big enough for Mike to fit through.
Yeah.
And D's like, you got to do it. You got to save my people. So Mike ends up going out all by his lonesome. And he ends up through enough sign language, as it were, he's able to convince some of the Genos, and they go off and they start slaughtering Devastators.
Now, what are the Devastators? Devastators are the not the hybrid.
They are the mutant Genos.
They're
right. The ones that are genetically enhanced super soldiers that are utterly loyal to the Bajarians to a fault. Like, they will not defy. The only good Devastator is a dead Devastator. So
yeah, Mike's telling wants him to blow up the ship with them in it because they know that if whatever happens with it, it could be bad. And Mike is being selfless and is saying they can't. Whenever it comes out of the buckle, if they get a hold of the ship, they're going to destroy the Earth no matter what. You need to destroy it. And Paul's like, no, I need that ship. It's so valuable. Paul is willing to risk Mike's life and everybody else to get the ship. So Paul is thinking now more militarily than anything else. He's not thinking humanely. I mean, Mike is out there saving Genogerians, excuse me, or anybody else that'll fight. He doesn't want to kill anybody. I would be pissed if these creatures came down. Like ISO 1 has a conversation with Paul and says that he hates humans. He wishes that they never came to this godforsaken planet because the humans have killed most of their people. But it's kind of a bad. I would be pissed. I wouldn't want any of this to happen. I wouldn't want to save Progerians or Genos. And Mike sees D, like you said before. D's getting extremely agitated because his Genos are getting killed. And the Progerians like, we're just going to start slaughtering Genos until you leave the ship and give it up. And Mike's like, rock you, blah, 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 blah. So, hello, Beth. How are you? Thank you for watching and joining us tonight. Beth is here in the chat.
Mike has a final. They end up getting through to the Guardian in the communication hub.
Mm-hmm.
And he has Paul put him through to Tracy because he figures that's his last chance to talk with him.
Yep.
And Tracy knows exactly how serious it is because Drababon uses her name.
He says,
and
Tracy,
she's like, you've never used my name before.
This is bad.
This is really bad.
Not small human that Travis's mother, or small human woman that mates with Mike or whatever, Yep. He really that's when you know the shit's about to hit the fan, when D uses your real name.
Well, he only does it out of times of great respect or sorrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say in this book total he uses her name 3 times.
Yeah,
this book or the whole series?
Twice during
this
that
book.
conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, because up until this point, he hasn't used her name at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, and it pisses her off every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So.
It's a conversation that goes on between Paul and D and Mike. And D basically tells Paul, you got to... I lost my place here. He needs to convince the bridge to surrender to them on the ship that they're on. And they're going to just keep firing repeatedly to destroy them. Paul is not excited at the Paul is excited at the prospect of obtaining another ship. And Mike tells him that, Dee's plan about a kamikaze thing is not probably the best thing in the world because they're on it. But Mike's already said goodbye to Tracy. He's already told Tracy to say, give his son a kiss. And D is Travis's godfather or god Gino.
Crocodile.
Splits the deal, splits it with the what do you want to call it? The duties with Paul, which wasn't Munn too happy about that. Hang on a second. Shit, I'm talking too much.
That whole goodbye is because the Progerians are listening in. Like, I don't know if they've really figured out the translation of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But that final goodbye and hearing that and everything else, I think that's what helped them give up the ship, because they're like, oh, hey, we don't want to die, and we know we got 2 more ships coming in. Mm-hmm. Let's just, cede control, and we'll get it back later.
Yeah. The Progerians and the Devastators agree to lay down their weapons and give themselves up, but they'll only do it to the leader of the Earth, whatever the hell they want to call it, which is Mike.
Resistance, yeah.
The Resistance is Mike, not Paul. And that pisses Paul off.
Yes. Well, and it actually, when they go to do that, it's funny because it wasn't the Progerians that were doing the submittal to Mike. They used the Devastators to do it. Yeah. Like, the Devastators aren't in command. Why are they the ones trying to intimidate Mike when they're surrendering?
Because they're expendable and they're under the control of the Progerians.
So it was like, well, I mean, technically it should be a Progerian doing that. Because what is it? Styrax, she refused to leave the ship because she's never seen a Progerian bow and surrender, and she wanted to see that. There was also a little tidbit. Doesn't really impact this book, but it plays a pivotal role in 7. We find out in this one that Progerian ships have a self-destruct code that can be entered.
Mm.
D admits that.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
4, 5.
It's the kind of thing an idiot has on his luggage.
It's the Progerian equivalent of that.
That's a Spaceballs reference for all you kids out there. Pretty much, though, ICER won. They captured the ship. The Progerians and the Devastators, they all surrender. ICER 1 comes over on a shuttle to this ship. Everybody else leaves and goes for the ship that's coming in on the buckle. There's only one way to stop it. And that's what we talked about before, about hitting it while it's in the buckle. If the what's the name of the ship? The
destroyer or the
destroyer.
Cruiser?
If the destroyer comes out of the buckle and you try to hit it with the Guardian or the other ship that came out, the whatever the hell it's called.
The cruiser.
The cruiser, yes, thank you. They said it's the equivalent of driving a car into a tank. It's not going to do you any good. So they got to hit it in the buckle.
Yeah.
So, which
that was D's idea. That was D's plan. D said to ICER 1, "Hey, show me how to fly this. I know we only got a little bit of time, but..." And then Mike's like, "Just tell him what you're going to do." And ICER 1's like, "Okay, that's not going to work. I can't show you enough of how to fly this in the time we have left. I'm going to have to do it myself." And they end up praying together.
Yeah, they end up. So ICER 1 stays on the ship and just flies it into the destroyer coming out of the buckle and destroys it. Now,
while Paul is preparing to shoot it down. Because he's an asshole.
He's not that bright.
Paul's just kind of an asshole through the this entire book.
Honestly, complete douchebag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, until the end he does it. But there was also a scene in a little movie called Star Wars: The Last Jedi, that Ryan, whatever the hell his hack name is, which I'm not a fan of, where they go into, they're all. It's basically the same exact scene. They shoot up into hyperspace into a Star Destroyer and destroy it. Very similar to this. So I think Ryan Johnson has some royalties that he needs to pay to Mr. Mark Tufo for that idea of the scene, and basically for destroying the whole new Star Wars thing. But I digress with that. He basically sucks and he's a hack, and I don't like him for what he did. Anyway, okay. So the immediate threat is over, but relationships are shattered. Paul is furious. Mike, emotionally spent, quits the Marine Corps and goes home to his family. He says, "I'm done.
Well,
F you. I don't want to do this anymore."
Paul is threatening to bring him up on charges of treason for destroying that ship.
Idiot.
Yeah.
He's the only one that's keeping this whole thing together, and he's fighting against them.
I love Mike's line in this because it's, "Okay, send me to the brig. See how long you have control of this ship when all the Genos find out that their liberator is sitting in prison. See how well that worked out for you, Paul."
Yeah, this is where the friendship really starts to... this is worse than Paul shooting Mike with the trank gun and sending him to Paris. At least he did that for the common good of Mike.
Yeah.
This is Paul just being pissed. He's like, "You're not in charge. I'm in charge. They like you more."
Like, Paul didn't actually know that Mike had a tracker. Like, when he
had an
shot
idea.
him,
He had an idea that he did.
thought that he might, because it made sense to him that they would LoJack their slaves and stuff. But he didn't know for a fact that he had. And Mike passed all kinds of scans when he came back to Earth. How did nobody else catch it, but Paul was able to?
Because Paul's wicked smart kid.
He's something.
He's from Boston.
He's got his ideas. So Mike retires, and it doesn't last all that long. Paul is planning
long enough to go home and take a shower.
Yeah, basically. Paul is planning to wipe out the Geno settlement in Arizona, and Mike and D race to intervene. They are met with hostility from the Genos. Mike is forced into a brutal honor fight against a teenage Geno seeking revenge for his mother's death. This was kind of an interesting little scene here because Mike and D, the freed Genos really don't give a shit about who Mike is and who D is. They're teenagers. Teenagers suck. And I think if the Genos had TikTok, they would realize just how doomed this planet really is and how much teenagers suck and do anything for attention. But anyway, so there's 3 like Geno teens that want to fight, and Mike ends up realistically beating a Genogerian. It's not a full-grown Genogerian. He's a teenage Genogerian, but even a teenage Genogerian is a lot bigger than Mike.
Size,
Still a lot bigger than a human. Yeah. So Mike ends up killing him, and then afterwards D tells Mike that he no longer wants to fight against the Genos. He's not going to fight against the Genos anymore. There is people. He was devastated.
The child was the mayor's son. And the whole reason that they're in the uprising is the bomb that destroyed the settlement took out the mayor's wife. Like, she was bringing everybody together, and it was mostly women and children that the bomb destroyed, and that just absolutely floored. And they were actually trying the practice of monogamy. Him and his partner had stayed together. Normally, they stay together for a season and then they move on. And he was with her for those 3 years, and it was a hell of a bond. And I don't know what I'd do if anybody killed my wife, but I know they'd die too.
I'd be pretty pissed. Yeah, we did. I forgot. I skipped right over the thing. The whole thing that was, I mean, if you didn't know it already, what is in the back of the van is a bomb, and it blows up at the Geno settlement and ends up. So some of the Genos are trying to assimilate and be like, okay, we can maybe do this, and we'll farm, and we'll start a PTA in a school, and get some semblance of normalcy going, and doesn't happen that way. So I don't blame the teen for being pissed. I mean, if somebody blew up my mom, I'd be pretty upset by that too.
Yeah.
So,
but at the same time, like, you're targeting the man that literally gave you freedom. Like, he did it for selfish reasons, but like you would be a slave right now.
Yeah.
Like,
and you'd still be on the Bajarian ship.
Yeah, you'd be heading off to die for a Bajarian war. Like, how is that better? Like, why would you kill the man that helped you gain freedom?
Now the question is, when the Genos are on the ship, they get to travel to different worlds, fight other species, 3 squares a day. Their life has structure, and this is all they've ever known. Now they're on Earth. They have nowhere to go, nothing to do, no job, no mission, no purpose. Yes, it's the beginning of something. They are the first of a settlement, and they have to start to build roots and plant the seed of what a Geno's new life can be on Earth. And they didn't really give it a chance. They kind of just got bored really, really easily. I think they definitely. Good.
No offense to Mike, but it's also kind of his fault. Like, as soon as the war ended, it's not like he was checking in on them. It's not like he was monitoring how things were going, how the settlements were going. He completely washed his hands of this, and he went off and retired. And
well, he started his own life. He started his own thing, and everybody's got to start their. I mean, I'm sure once airplanes got back up and running, and the TSA strike was over, he would fly out there.
Yeah, he was the catalyst for them being accepted on Earth, and then he just washed his hands of it and said, "Not my problem anymore. I'm out.
Yeah, if you guys got to deal with it,
I'm gone." Yeah, and this is the fallout from washing your hands of it. You leave people alone without structure, it's the same thing that happens with inmates. With inmates that have been locked up for really, really long periods of time, they have trouble reintegrating into society for the same reason.
Look at what happened to Brooks in the Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
He couldn't work in a supermarket. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, people, you need to. It's a good movie. So after the fight, Paul arrives in an Apache-style helicopter to extract them, but it is shot down. In the aftermath, Paul and Mike have a tense conversation about possible traitors among them. someone has been supplying advanced weapons to both the Progerians in Florida and the Genos over in Arizona. To root out the traitors, they plan to separate the Genos by offering I have this in quotes, vaccinations that will actually lead to their temporary imprisonment aboard the Guardian. Are they trying to? I'm going off of my notes on this. I didn't get this far in my reading. I screwed up this week. I apologize. Yeah, they were going to bring them back up to the ship, weren't they?
So they were already on the ship. The plan was to basically corral them all in like the cafeteria.
Yep.
Say it was some kind of space plague that they were being inoculated against. Make sure the humans were getting something similar, one that didn't debilitate them, but still, that way the Genos wouldn't be suspicious, and the Progs wouldn't be suspicious, and they could get them discreetly off of the Guardian, and preferably away from the conflict.
Yeah. Well, Paul
admits up. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to continue. So finish. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Mike ends up getting seriously hurt from his fight with the youth, and when they get back to the base after surviving all that, he ends up passing out, I believe, in the shower. And Tracy, Tracy has to dress him and go get D for help.
Not a good thing.
No.
Paul admits that he still needs Mike and gives him 1 day to convince the Genos to stand down and return to the reservation peacefully. Once again, if he knows anything about American history and doing that, it doesn't work out well, Paul.
No.
Here we go. Instead, Mike collapses in the shower from internal bleeding sustained in the fight with the teenage Geno. He wakes days later from a medically induced coma to learn that Tracy has been sent on a suicide mission to stop a massive horde of Genos from overrunning an ammunition factory in California. Who do you think is behind that? A what?
Fighter. It was a fighter base. They were building fighters.
Is that what they were doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, Tracy is sent out on a mission. Now, Tracy, is she still military or is she retired by this point? Because she's still, she's still a mother.
She was promoted to a captain to carry out the mission. So.
Yeah. Beth is saying not the reservations. Elaborate, Beth. What are we talking about here? What did I screw up on? I'm going off of notes from
all the it was Genos from all around the world congregated together to basically do a death march towards it, and that's when Tracy is setting up the resistance, you find out that they don't deviate from a straight line course. Doesn't matter if they have to cross dangerous river when there's a bridge half a mile or a mile down the road. They just one straight line, and they head for it. So Tracy gets the bright idea to take 500 men and attack the Genogerians from the rear, and it's insanely successful. They do not. Because they don't stop, they don't turn around. She even has her driver, Rut, love the name, hit rear end one of the Genos, and he ends up mowing him down in the 6-wheel drive, and Tracy ends up finishing it off with a shot to the head.
Yeah,
I like the driver, and I'm gonna have to do a report on this.
Yeah, Tracy's a horrible driver.
Considering how bad Rut is of a driver, I bet he's got a template.
Probably. Mike is furious and is going to go after Tracy, and Dee agrees to watch Travis while Mike goes after his wife. This is where the book got good, because one of our favorite characters is reintroduced. Mike is in East LA and he links up with BT. He learns that Travis is safe with D, but D has a sense that Beth is up to something and has fled with Travis for safety. Tracy is leading troops in a desperate defense. One of her men, Alex from Little Turtle, if you remember Alex, another character, reoccurring character, is overrun while flanking the Geno herd. In his final moments, he prays to his wife, Martha. So another little nod to the Zombie Fallout series.
Alex was in charge at the camp that originally Tracy was in charge of when she went to flank them. She left to flank them. And during the controlled retreat, Alex saw that in order to slow them down so she could get effective fire and help them their numbers, he keeps back a number of volunteers. I believe like 180 or 189 ended up being, and they ended up getting overrun and slaughtered by the Genos.
Yeah.
I mean, 3,000 against, 100,000, you can't do enough.
No.
There's no way to do enough damage.
Not unless it's Hollywood, and that ain't happening. Yeah. So, Paul is furious that Tracy failed to stop the horde because, why wouldn't you be upset by that? Because Paul's a dick. She calls him out. How did I write this? She calls him out on his authoritarian bullshit for once. He actually listens and shows more of a human side. So, if anybody can get to another man, it is a woman. And kind of call you out on your crap.
She does call him out. She says, what's the point of having 3,000 crosses on a hill?
Right.
There was nothing we can do. Like, we killed as many as we could, and then we retreated to regroup. And she ends up hanging up on him. And Rut looks at her like, is that wise to do that to the general? But, I mean, it's Mike's wife, so.
Yeah, because they only ended up taking out, 5% of the 300,000 of them that were...
Yeah, the total number, when Mike flew nearby to land in L.A., he said it was around 250,000 Genos left alive. So
yeah, it's quite a bit.
So. Absolutely. Now, Tracy does get some good licks in because she figures out after her battalion gets wiped out and she's still hitting them on the way in, she takes out their supplies. Their provisions and everything else, and that really pisses them off, and she ends up losing a few men from that. Rut saves her, though.
Gotta love Rut. Back up in space, the Guardian is lost. It gets retaken by the Pajarians, and Paul activates a secret Project Mistletoe, a little black box device from his man purse that cripples the ship's power and life support, hoping his people can hold out until power is restored. So there is still, obviously there's still people up there on the Guardian. So he's hoping to. BT has a wall or a hill of glass that that protects against Pajarian weapons. So the Pajarians or the Genos have a gun that shoots plasma rays or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
They got this giant wall of glass that kind of absorbs the
1.5 feet thick.
Yeah, it basically renders it useless. If you could carry this thing around with you, it would be fantastic, but unfortunately, you can't.
It's like a big giant prism.
Yeah.
Massive wall,
big time. Tracy fights like a demon, but the horde of over 300,000 Genos rolls through East LA, leaving hundreds dead on both sides, which pretty much if you've ever been to East LA, you know that it looks like that now. After the battle, Mike reunites with Tracy. In a powerful speech, he tells the survivors that this fight is no longer about race, color, creed, or religion. It is about the human race fighting for survival. Something I have always said, that when the aliens or zombies come, they don't give a crap what your color your skin is, what your nationality is. They're going to eat you and probe your butt just like they would anybody. So as humans, we all need to come together and be one. Stop fighting with each other. It's not doing anybody any good.
Protect your assholes.
Yeah, exactly. Beth down in the chat says she wants to see the wall of glass. My mind was going in a few directions how it looked. Yeah, that would be interesting to see. The
way Mike describes it from a distance, it just looks like a pile of trash.
Yeah.
It just looks like a bunch of rubble and trash. And BT talks about how every layer that they added to it is infused with a shitload of concrete, glass, and mirrors, because that is what diffuses the blast. It's also where we first start learning about the strivers.
A little bit, yeah.
About them.
Yep. Yeah. So, if you're in downtown LA, there's a ton of buildings. So there's definitely no shortage of things, of materials to build this friggin' wall. So
I mean, honestly, if they're in LA with the Striver, I would think the Strivers would fit right in.
Mm-hmm. So BT asks bluntly if Beth is as big a bitch as she appears on television.
Worse.
Which she is. I'm sure she plays the dignitary's wife, and she's all, look at me, look at me.
I'm pretty sure Deneau died like early before Beth was born, and Beth is the reincarnation of Deneau.
I'd go with that. I would love to see Beth and Deneau in a story together. Like go head to head, not be like mother daughter or anything like that, but like see them kind of battle it out and see who would win.
I don't know. I don't see anybody beating Deneau. I mean, that woman is.
No.
Is Beth just a hotter, younger version of Deneau?
No,
that can't shoot for shit. Like Deneau's biggest redeeming quality is how good of a shot she is.
That's
like it doesn't matter if it's zombies or Yetis. Deneau, crack shot.
Yep.
It's the only reason that Mike has ever kept her around in any of these stories and kept her alive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Otherwise she'd be gone. They get to the factory. They get to the factory and they discover that it is a decoy. There's audio recordings of factory noise and burning oil to simulate activity. Not stimulate. That's not very stimulating. Inside the maintenance closet, they find a nuclear bomb. Oh joy! With the Guardian dead in space and other Progerian battle cruiser incoming, Earth is once again vulnerable as they try to warn nearby areas. So Mike and them are trying to be nice and say, hey, let's go to the neighboring areas. What's the bomb rate, the blast radius of a nuclear bomb? Let's go to these other towns and tell them what's going on. And these people are so fucking stupid. They get pissed and try to shoot at Mike or take him hostage and do all this crazy crap with them.
The first town they come across is more or less receptive. And they also let us know that fighter base has been discontinued for more than 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it was not of strategic importance at all. Like, Tracy going there to try... Tracy's supposed to lay down her lives to stop the Genos. There was no point to it because Paul had the bomb planted the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
There was no need for a mass evacuation or anything else because it was a decoy.
Yeah.
Which really, really pisses off Mike. But that first town they come across, they're receptive and they start using what little resources they have. They start hauling people out, trying to get them to a safe distance.
Mm-hmm.
It's the next settlement that shoots at them. And they shoot at them before they ever really get a dialogue going.
Yeah. BT gets shot in the leg, which is never a good thing because he's a really big guy. And then trying to find shelter, Mike stumbles into some strivers, these giant 7-foot tall spiders. And for some reason, Mike can understand them. The strivers don't know that he can understand them, but they can. Mike can. Everybody else can't.
Yeah. Everybody else can pick up what the strivers want them to, but Mike can pick up 7 different dialogues of them. And he thinks it's because of all the drugs he's done throughout the years. So.
But the strivers have a ship, and they take them onto their ship and get them out before the nuclear bomb can go off. So who's on board the ship? It's Mike, BT,
and
Tracy. So Mike, BT, and Tracy are on board of a striver ship.
Right,
it's kind of the enemy. It's like what is it BT or ISO one that said the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And they talked about the strivers earlier when they were up on the ship, and they said, maybe us and the strivers will team up and fight the Progerians. And I can't remember if it's D or I that says it's you and the Progerians would end up fighting more against the strivers. So they hinted a little bit about the strivers in one of the earlier books, but now we really find out with the strivers what's going on.
I don't remember if it's this one or the next one where the strivers give their series of events of how the conflict started with the Progerians.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the next one.
Okay. Yeah, next one they really go in depth with it. But that pretty much brings us to the BT gets saved and a lot of other shit happens in it. But we got strivers now.
BT ends up with the pimp walk again.
Couple honorable mentions.
Yes.
Dee absolutely loves cats, and Mike makes a joke about them being an emergency fuel source if times ever get tough. And Dee gets a shocked look, like, "No, those are my babies. You can't kill my kitties," which is just hilarious coming from a giant crocodile.
Yeah.
Who would eat anything? So
When they took over the breacher and sent that back to back to the cruiser, it reminded me of the scene from Halo 3 where Master Chief leaves the ship with the bomb to give it back to the Covenant. If you never played the game, you're missing out. It's a great series.
I played the first one on Xbox for a little bit and didn't get very far.
Mike actually threatens D at one point in time, tells him that if you don't watch your attitude, I'm going to make you change one of Travis's diapers.
Diapers. Yeah, why the Genos don't like poopy diapers?
But that being said, when they do make it back to Tracy, Travis comes running up to Mike and he hands him off to D, and he's like, "Hey, he needs a diaper change." And D just goes ahead and goes inside and does it. Like, it's the scariest thing he can ever imagine, but for his friend, he does do it.
Yeah.
And he's his godson, so you got to change the poopy diapers. Why not?
Mike finally gets a piggyback ride from a Geno Jarian in this one. It happens when they're on the cruiser.
Which is
The
interesting.
church. Yes. Let's see. Easter egg. Jandalyn is mentioned.
Is she?
She's yes.
When?
Private. When Tracy is talking with the troops on the hill, trying to.
Oh,
boost
that's
the morale.
right. That's right. How did I not pick up on that? I
Because
saw
she mouths off with Tracy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is it? Private Jandalyn Hollow. So
How does that's not Jenlyn's name in the other books, though, is it?
I don't remember what her maiden name.
I don't know if her maiden name was Hollow.
In The God's Undoing. So
Well, she's in God's Undoing and from Spirit Clearing.
yes.
So, which we will be doing probably after this series.
Ooh, nice.
We're
I
gonna hold.
figured we'd be doing the newest book of Reset.
We got to finish the Reset thing. My interview with Vikas Adam is rescheduled. He got sick and we didn't get a chance to talk last week or the week before or whatever. So we're going to reschedule as things happen because he is a busy author. He actually just hosted the Audible Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So it'll be interesting to hear about that as well.
Yeah.
But that is coming. And then do we want to finish Reset or do we want to do the Reset series fresh at the end?
I'm okay either way. I'm gonna read it right when it comes out. So.
Oh, I'm definitely going to read it and listen to it when it comes out. But because we've done the first two, do we just finish the series?
I figured that
and then come back to it at the end
Indian
again.
Hill, and then we would finish off Reset. But I'm okay with whatever. I love the
did
books.
those a few months ago. So.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. Because it was the last of what we were doing before the reboot.
Yep.
So, but yeah. All right, I got here. So that brings us to the end of Indian Hill Book 4 From the Ashes. The war is far from over. Humanity has survived another day, but at tremendous cost. Alliances are broken. Traitors still walk among them. The Progerians are not finished. The mysterious and predatory strivers have now entered the game, and the personal wounds between Mike, Paul, Beth, and Tracy run even deeper. Mike and Tracy and a few strivers are left standing in the ashes, physically, emotionally, and politically wondering what fresh hell the universe will throw at them next. And we will find out next week. Same time, same channel. Wait. One of my graphics. No. All right. Q&A. Anybody have any questions? I was fooling around with little graphics that we had before you joined us, Chris. So, anybody down there in the chat? Yeah, exactly. Got anything that we missed or that they wanted to share? Or are we just covering everything so well? You're all just sitting back listening, going, wow, they really got their shit together. These guys know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Audio people can't see my yeah, right face as it goes. But
I
think
have
we
to
did
say
pretty
how
good.
much I love D taking on Travis. Tracy's gone, Mike goes, and D just Travis is just so enamored with D that it's so funny.
you got to desensitize early to the giant scary crocodiles.
I was
Why
gonna
not?
say, yeah.
That's
What
what
does
kids
the kid
are.
think? I mean, the kid's 2.5 feet tall or whatever, and he's walking up to this 9 foot tall alligator.
Travis is a special breed because I'd like to think that I would be terrified at any age, especially considering he's literally bite size for the Geno.
Yeah.
Oh, he would fit Travis into his mouth in one whole swoop.
Because when D
Without a
comes
doubt.
out after, which is funny because Mike is trying to soothe Tracy when they come back and she realizes he's not dead. You can hear D as he's flatulent while I'm changing him. And then he comes out holding him by his leg with his face right near his snout.
Yeah.
And Tracy's like, that will never not terrify me.
Did Travis ever give D, when changing his diaper or anything, the if anybody has sons or a little brother, whatever, you change the diaper. If you don't do that too
salute.
fast, if you don't cover it, you get christened. Do you think Travis ever did that to D?
If he did, it wasn't as big of a deal as the farting.
Yeah.
Like whatever comes out the backside of Travis absolutely terrifies D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I think D is, for the most part, he's okay with urine, considering how much he spreads it all over Mike in the last book.
Aaron Hobbs down in the chat says, is there an update tier list of bad guys? Lycans, Strivers, Melders, Genos, etc. Ooh, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
A list of all of the horrors that Mark has subjected us to of these books. That is definitely something good thought on that, Aaron. Well, I think
Deneau stays at the top.
Oh, Deneau definitely stays at the top.
Deneau,
definitely come up with a list.
Her special scene will strike fear into everybody.
Kind of like what Mark has with his timeline tree. We put together a list of all of the bad guys from all of the books. Or is Tim worse than Deneau?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Come on, the worst scene is with Deneau is the scene when she's by herself thinking of Mike getting blown up by the nuclear weapon.
Yeah, come on, Jason.
I'm right there with you. That's exactly what. When she's taking care of herself, is what? No, thank you.
I could have lived 1,000 years and not heard that again. And I knew when you said it that's what you were going to say. You son of a bitch.
You're going to hear it again. You're going to experience it again.
It's my anniversary this weekend. I don't need that thought in my head. Okay.
Oh God.
Good luck, Jeff.
Yeah. Thanks,
when are you going out? I'm gonna send you a text. Like, hey, remember that? I'll get a little clip going off of Audible, and I'll send that to you.
Oh,
I'm sure we can find some kind of graphic to send him on Saturday night.
We can AI something together. Yeah. Christ. So, all righty, boys. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much for watching and listening. Like and subscribe, 5 stars, rating, reviews, all that fun, happy crap. T-shirts are coming. Official Chronicles of Michael Talbot, the podcast T-shirts. There are 2 other designs that we're probably going to have 3 that we can do in the coming weeks. I found a company that can send them to me and I can make them, which is pretty cool. So that's what we got going on. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you can watch the video or listen to us audio on what's that company? Audible. Yeah, audio on Audible. So wherever you listen to us or watch us, thank you all very much. We will see you next week when we discuss book 5 in the series, and I don't know what the name of it is. We'll leave that as a mystery till next time. So,
Jeff, you and I have to actually read it this time.
Yeah. I had 2 weeks to do it. I did absolutely nothing. I did everything today because I'm a Fucking moron.
Into the fire.
Yeah.
Hook 5. Into the fire.
Beth is asking will they be on Facebook page?
Shirts.
Yeah. When I do, I'm guessing you're asking about the shirts. Yeah, I'll figure out a way to link it. Either sell them through my website or we have a Chronicles Etsy store that I opened. Jesus, when we did the original T-shirts, we'll figure something out. I just don't want to jump into it right away before we have a total plan on how to make this work, so it doesn't fail miserably. I want to process it first and make sure we're doing it right to give everybody the best things. But we're going to be the T-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, a basic a lot, anything you can heat press something onto. We're going to be able to do it. Koozies, things like that. So if you want a Speedo, we could probably make one into a Speedo. So that's what will work. That's what I'm trying to figure out now. But we're going to roll out the T-shirts first because it is summertime. Tees and tanks will probably be the first things that we do. So, but keep listening, keep watching, and follow us on the official Chronicles of Michael Talbot podcast Facebook page. If you're watching this, you know where you are because you're on it right now. So everybody, thank you all very much. Gentlemen, I will talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.